Hi everyone, we are Group 9 and today's presentation we will introduce the man behind these two business magnates, Jack Ma and Pony Ma. So let's dive into the topic right away. And this is the structure of this presentation. And here is the first character, Daniel Zhang. So let's talk about his career path. So Zhang Yong graduated from Shanghai University of Finance and Economics in 1995, one of the most prestigious universities focusing on business education in China. He worked for one of the former Big Five accounting firms, also Andersen, which collapsed due to the Enron scandal in 2002. He then worked for PwC as a senior manager of the audit and business advisory division in Shanghai for 3 years. Following 10 years experience in professional service, he served as chief financial officer of Shanda Interactive Entertainment Limited, an online game developer and operator. In 2007, he was invited by Jack Ma to join Alibaba as chief financial officer of Taobao Marketplace, and served in this position until June 2011. In 2013, Zhang was promoted to Chief Operating Officer of Alibaba Group and eventually became a CEO 2 years later. And in 2019, he became the successor of Jack Ma and is the executive chairman of Alibaba. Move on to the significant career turning points of Daniel Zhang. So, from the first job, professional service such as accounting firms are always popular among business graduates. They generally provide inclusive platforms for fresh graduates to have access to clients from different industries with various backgrounds and gain a basic understanding of the real business world. Due to their mature training system, including designed curricula, on-the-job training, and mentorship program, graduates usually acquire hard skills and soft skills quickly. And from the professional service to internet industry, Daniel gave up the chance to be promoted as a partner in PwC in 2005 and chose Shanda in the internet industry as his next station, which required a decisive determination and adventurous spirit. Professional services are generally thought of as risk-averse industries and suit people who are rigorous, conservative, and detail-oriented. Daniel described himself as an aggressive and decisive leader, and he is always willing to do something new. Back in 2005, the internet industry was emerging, but with great uncertainty, especially compared with the audit and accounting industry, which was conventional and mature. Under such circumstances, Daniel took the risk and turned to a promising industry, which could be understood as a choice based his personality and risk appetite. Here is another story we'd like to share. It is said that Daniel didn't know much about Alibaba, but his wife was a loyal customer of Taobao and spent a lot of money shopping on that. His wife encouraged him to get to know Alibaba in the first place, and Daniel, as a traditional Shanghai man, followed his wife's advice. And from Shanda to Alibaba, joining Alibaba is a life-changing career decision for Daniel, as Daniel was already the CFO of a Nasdaq-listed internet company worth $3 billion. He had a deep understanding and business insight of this industry, and he smelled the great opportunity of mobile internet. When Daniel first met Jack Ma in Hong Kong, he was asked the biggest reason why he chose Alibaba. He answered that he is already the CEO of a $3 billion company, and he wanted to be the CEO of a $30 billion company. That demonstrates that his strong self-confidence and confidence in Alibaba's future. His ambition was realized. Alibaba has a market value of more than $400 billion now. And his relationship with Jack Ma, the founder and former president of Alibaba, also contributed a lot to his career progress. Jack Ma gave unconditional support to Daniels in several significant strategic decisions of Alibaba, and Daniel also publicly expressed that Jack Ma is a leader worth being followed. Next, I would like to present some of his major achievements. So the first major achievement of Daniel is he is the father of Double 11 event. Many people may think that Double 11 must be the contribution of Jack Ma, but actually it was Daniel's proposal. At that time, Taobao mainly focused on C2C business, while Daniel believed that B2C market has a very promising perspective in the near future. Therefore, to promote Taobao's B2C business, he introduced this event in 2009, and it has become the National Carnival Shopping Festival. During the Double 11 day, nearly all sellers in Taobao gave customers very strong discounts, so countless customers purchased lots of things on that day. After 11 years, the total transaction on this event is about 9,580 times that of when it started. And the second accomplishment is associated with his foresight to the new retail market. It was Daniels promote the revolution of retail industry and make new retail become a trending thing. He once said in a statement, "Those who clinging on to the old ways of retailing will be disrupted." Therefore, from 2015, he engaged in the investment of Suning and Intai Retail in order to transform these two traditional retailers into integrated platforms with both online and offline channels. What's more, in 2016, he created the Hema Fresh, which is the first data-driven supermarket chain in China. Thanks to his forward-looking behaviors, Alibaba became the pathfinder in China new retail industry. And the former CEO of Alibaba had made a false decision of shifting key business from e-commerce to social media in order to compete with Tencent, but the final outcome was not satisfying. In 2013, the new CEO Daniel redefined the strategic focus of Alibaba, which should be the mobile app of Taobao, and he declared that the organization ought to keep emphasizing its strengths in e-commerce. Therefore, he proposed all-in wireless and by Trump plan in 2013 and 2014 respectively, aiming to help mobile Taobao become a super app backed by a whole ecosystem. At present, Alibaba is not only the biggest e-commerce company in China, but also a well-established ecosystem covering all aspects of commerce, such as cloud computing and mobile payment. The established ecosystem gives a frictionless shopping experience to customers. For example, customers could select their desired products on Taobao and use Alipay to finish the payment. After sellers start dealing with the order, they could rely on Cainiao to check the location of their package. For the career motivation, in one interview, Daniel was asked what motivates you as a leader. He gave three answers: young, fun, and curious. First of all, it's young and fun. The digital field is the new frontier of the society, and you can work with a lot of young people. Experiencing new things is not only fun, but also it makes you feel young. Secondly, he believes that staying curious about the world is the number one driver of life and work. Now, let's see the social evaluation about Daniel Zhang. So, based on the Chinese Entrepreneur magazine, in the past years, he has led Alibaba's digital economy to withstand all-round challenges. Under his helm, the giant company has once again created a digital miracle, and used his commercial power accumulated over the past 20 years to fulfill its social responsibility, clearing away layers of fog for the world economy, drawing a strong and colorful stroke in the challenging 2020. Okay, so that's all about Daniel Zhang, and let's now introduce the second main character, Mark. He is the present executive director of Tencent. So let's see the career path of Martin Lau. So he is highly educated. As of the age of 25, he had achieved the master degree in three famous schools, including University of Michigan, Stanford, and Northwestern. So in 1998, he started his first job in McKinsey as the management consultant, and in the same year, he switched the job to the Goldman Sachs, becoming the chief operating officer. During this period, he was responsible for some complex projects, including the restructuring of Guangdong Yuehai Group. He had gained experience in initial public offering, merge and acquisitions, and management consulting for 10 years. Then, in 2005, he joined Tencent as the Chief Strategic Investment Officer. In 2006, he became the president of Tencent, in charge of the company's daily management. From 2007 to present, he took over the executive director of Tencent, and in 2012 he also occupied the chairman of Tencent e-commerce holding company. Overall, he had experienced three major transactions in his career. The first transaction was from Maxine to Goldman Sachs. Lau made this choice because at that time the wave of investment in Asia was on the rise, and he also wanted to participate in such rush. He made the switch from the field of management consulting, which laid the foundation to become compound talent. The second transition was from Goldman Sachs to Tencent. Lau discovered the strong advantage of Tencent when he helped Tencent in the IPO. The internal research and development department decided which area to invest. Then, Tencent developed rapidly in the field of games, portals, and internet value-added services. After close communication with Polymer, he chose to enter the company. The third change was due to the 3Q war in 2010. Before that, Lau was responsible for the company's daily management. But this incident changed Tencent. Tencent chose to use investment as the main form to create a diversified and win-win business ecosystem. Because of Lau's previous experience, he was responsible for building and leading the investment department of Tencent. Next, under his leadership, Tencent had great achievement. Let's have a look. QQ's online traffic has slipped to the top of Chinese portals, and its online advertising revenue has risen by more than 150%. Tencent's market value has also increased by more than 120%, exceeding 30 billion Hong Kong dollars. Tencent established the investment M&A department in 2008. It allowed it to gain a lot of IPO projects, which have penetrated almost all areas of Chinese people's eating, drinking, and playing, such as Jingdong, Meituan, and Pinduoduo, all of which belong to the Tencent investment camp. Since his join, Tencent invested a total of 700 companies, of which 63 have been listed and 122 have become unicorns with a market value of more than $1 billion. For example, Kuaishou. successfully went to Hong Kong for an IPO this year and became the China's first short video stock. Then we will talk about his career goal and motivation. During his first job, he had the goal of joining an enterprise from the perspective of a third party to provide strategic advice and thus becoming a strategic executor. Then, when he was responsible for the listing of Tencent, he realized that it was a great place where he could exert his competence, including strategic planning, investment, mergers and acquisitions. These are his strengths, but missed by Tencent, which relied on product to dominate the market at that time. During this period, he formed and believed that a successful strategy accounts for 20% of the excellence of a company, while the execution ability can explain the rest 80%. Besides, there is something interesting about Martin's socialization ability. So during the negotiation with Pony Ma, everyone in Martin's team took out a business card with special QQ nickname. And another detail is more human. When he and Pony Ma were arguing over valuation issue heatedly, he took Pony Ma leaving downstairs and smoking, gave Pony enough time to calm down. Through these details, we can see that Martin is considerate of his negotiators, and he has good socialization skills. It is also interesting to mention that Martin is the game player of Clash Royale, a world's popular game. In 2016, he ranked 97 in the world, so it seems that Martin kept a good balance between work and the personal life. Because of his achievements, Martin ranked the second in the Hurun China Professional Managers listed in 2021 and was ranked 21st in the Forbes China Hong Kong Rich list this year. And this is the comparison part. So for comparison, we make a timeline. You can see for the education background, they both graduated from excellent universities and both engaged in professional service for their first job. For an important career turning point, they both transferred from the professional service to internet industry. Daniel is more inclined to business development, operating, and platform building, while Martin is more inclined to investing and building the investment team plan. After joining Tencent, Martin influenced the company's strategic plan, which became more focused on merger and acquisition. By comparison, they both have a lot of similarities. First of all, they both are workaholism. During the research, we heard that Daniel always replies emails at 5 a.m. and Martin never misses a phone call and he can return to workplace immediately if anything urgent happens. Also, they both have self-actualization and their career goals are more ambitious. Finally, it's the conclusion part. We start with a question why we choose these two people to study their career development. And to answer this question, this is because it reflects the typical career path of business school graduates and has some reference value. The first job they choose are the best option available at the moment and provide a quick boost to the learning curve. What's more, both of them had a keen business sense, seized the opportunity of their time, and were brave enough to get involved. For the most important thing, they are doing well in every career, and this is what we can learn from their career development. So, this is the end of this presentation. Thank you for listening.